Hi everyone. So today I'm going to make another bread and we're going to try this keto bacon cheese bread. It just says keto bacon bread, but it's got cheese in it and stuff. So we're going to try it. Now the real recipe calls for different than what I've got, but we're just going to use what I've got since I'm almost out of almond flour. So my oven's set at 355 and I've got the cheese already done, and this is 1.5 of shredded cheese, and the bacon, and this is 1 cup of bacon, crumbled. You can see it's chopped up. Okay, so now I'm going to add my almond flour. It's a little under 1/4 cup, and I'm going to add my coconut flour, which is 2 tablespoons and 2 teaspoons. Okay, and then it calls for 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and this is super easy because after you cook the bacon you just mix it. Fuzz. And then it calls for 2 tablespoons of whipped cream cheese. And I'm just using whipped because it's easier and it's what I have. I'm going to have to use my fingers to scrape it out. See if I got a half one. Yeah, I do. Move that so you can see I'm just throwing everything in the bowl. Works better than my finger. One more. I'm really trying to get it packed in. Okay, now we're going to add bacon and the cheese. Now it says just mix. I might have the bacon a little too thick, but we'll see. I just kind of chopped it. It said in the recipe you could use non-cooked bacon or cooked bacon. I chose to cook it. Just trying to get that cream cheese all mixed in. I'm making a little bit of a mess. I'm going to switch over to a wooden spoon, see if that helps. See if I can get that cream cheese mixed in a little better. pretty good. Okay, now it says put it on here and flatten it out. And that's what I'm doing. It says you can use parchment paper. I have it on the silk pad, and I'm just flattening it with my hand.
Alright, stand up there. Go ahead and face me. Can you take your glasses off and hook them onto your shirt? Can you see the tip of my pen? Okay. Keep your head straight. Don't nod yes, alright? I want you to focus right here on the tip of this pen, okay? Follow it with your eyes and your eyes only. You understand?
Just trying to make it a little even.
Track a pen with her eyes, struggled to walk in a straight line, and could not balance on one foot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012, 1013, 1014, 1015, 1016.
Alright, let's see how this goes. So you can see,
Officers determined that she was too intoxicated to operate a vehicle safely. She was
I got it flattened. So let's see now. It's supposed to bake for 15 to 20 minutes. Like I said, it's at 355.
transported her to the station.
There. I set it for 15, and we'll come back and see what it's like when it's done. Okay, my fault. I reread the directions and I did it wrong. So because it's so dry, it says to add either a splash of cream or some melted butter. I melted some butter now, and I'm going to add it in here and see if that helps mix this better, because it's very dry. And I don't even know if that's going to be enough butter. Still doesn't look like it.
With intense focus and expert handling, the police coordinated closely, even preparing to
I'm gonna melt a little more butter.
if necessary.
See if that works.
Before it was too late. Another driver, who had been traveling alongside the suspect, immediately called the police in fear.
So the directions said, because I had to remake this directions, that you lay it out flat and then cut it into, like, take a glass and make it into round shapes. But I don't think that's done. Not quite. And then the way I remade it now, you're going to make it into balls, which is why this isn't turning out the way it should. And it doesn't have enough liquid, so I have to add a little liquid in here more. And like I said, you can add cream, or you can add butter. And I figure butter's better. I don't know that I really want the cream. Right now I'd be adding about 2 tablespoons of butter. And you kind of want this to be able to stick together to make balls, I would assume. Still kind of dry. Gonna add the rest of it. And that was about 2 tablespoons of butter. That should give it a nice buttery bacon flavor. Yeah, that's a little better. It's kind of coming together now. Okay, this is looking better. So you can see it's kind of starting to stick. Now it says to let it sit a few minutes, because then the coconut flour will soak up the moisture. I'm not going to add any more liquid because it looks like it's coming together. Get out my scoop. And I'm just going to scoop it with an ice cream scoop and see how well this works. Let it sit here a few minutes. So, That's the big thing. I thought this would be good, considering yesterday we made keto cottage cheese bread, which actually was really good. So I thought this bacon cheese bread would be even better. And when you break it down to 9 per serving, net carbs is like 1.30 because of the fiber. If you eat the whole batch, it's like 14 grams of carbs total, which I'm not going to eat the whole batch. But the net carbs are lower, so that's a good thing. And you can probably have a couple if you want as a snack or with maybe your dinner as a little dinner roll. You know, you can eat it any way you like. So that's what I'm figuring. Oh yeah, it's getting stickier as it sits. Yeah, you can see. See? Look at it. Getting sticky. And that's kind of how you want it. And it makes more sense to put it in the scoops than it did to lay it out on parchment paper and cut it out like you did old-fashioned donuts. Because then they were like this big. They were thin. And they just round circles. So this is easier. And this way you know how many you get. And I might get more than 9 out of this. So let's see if it's going to hold together in a scoop. Yep. Yep. See? It's holding together. So back to my soap pat. There's one. Making another one. I'm just going to roll them into little balls here. And that's 2. There, you can see it's rolling and getting nice. Just make them all into balls. They don't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect when you're cooking. Okay, I'm going to roll these into balls and I'll be back to show you. Okay, so I ended up with about 12. You can see here, right? About 12. So let's see how these turn out. About 12 to 15 minutes to bake. I'm going to start at 12. And I'll let you know how long it took. Okay, they came out of the oven. They're really hot.
I didn't want you to even worry about
And this is how they're supposed to look. They're supposed to be brown on top and brown around the edges.
I just wanted to tell you.
And they cook longer than I said. I added
I'm sorry, you'll have to excuse me.
10 minutes. So it was 22 minutes I cooked. I said about 15 to 20 minutes, and I ended up starting at 12. And because my oven's really weird, so I ended up cooking it 22 minutes. And they finally got brown. So let's see how they taste, right? Let's cross our fingers they taste good.
Very bad for Craig.
Ooh.
That everyone was
It's a little
laughing
crispy.
at the homemade teddy bear that he made.
And it is hot. Look at the bottom. It's nice and crispy. Look at that. This should be good. I just want to take a little bite.
He really wanted it. Here he makes you a homemade teddy bear. You were dying. You're like, that's
Little chewy.
I was laughing because it was just so earnest, and
This
he
one
goes to
probably
this
got a
trouble.
little overcooked, maybe.
It never comes to fruition, but he still felt that he needed to give me
Here's
the
what it looks
pieces
like.
of the bear.
Craig, what was your reaction when you saw it?
Right?
I can never remember why I'm
Looks
offended
good.
these people.
He was showing me that he
But I
had
tried,
tried.
and it was way more difficult
He
than
had
I
tried,
thought.
but I think this represents
And,
a bigger picture.
I can
Not
still
bad.
2D, not 3D.
It's why, I mean, it's difficult. So I didn't know how
And
to
he's
sew
being
the
Pretty good.
serious. Like he's
It would be
being
like,
dead
why are you
serious.
gonna make a soup right now?
I
'Cause
think
give
I'd
it to
less
you,
cook the
you'd be like,
bacon though.
So
Imagine
then
trying
why
to
do
sew an
it?
arm
Why
or something.
half-ass a
Well,
gift
you're
and
also,
just say, but
I
here
didn't
you
half,
go.
I didn't half-ass it. I tried hardest. I was
I
trying
think
to
next
make
time I
teddy
make
bear,
these, I
and-
wouldn't cook
and
the
I
bacon
used an
so long.
advanced pattern, and I should have started with a beginner pattern because I couldn't follow it.
Make
All
them
that matters
nice
is that
crispy.
Ann thought that it was a sweet gesture.
Because I do
Karen
need
from
crispy
Toronto
bacon.
said Cameron comes across as a little emotionally detached.
They're
when
good, though,
talking
for
about the
something
birth of her
different.
Daughter. I can't help but think she doesn't really dig motherhood. Did you suffer from postpartum?
These they said you can dip.
I don't know if I had
Mind you, I
postpartum
changed my
depression.
recipe,
If
but I don't
didn't,
mind
was
this. This is
definitely
very
on the
good.
verge. I cried probably every day. Maybe I was. I don't know.
Mhm.
I was never diagnosed with it. Like I never sought help.
Really
or,
good.
What were you crying? What was
Anything.
the impetus for crying?
So if you
um,
want
Like
something
looking at
different,
the baby or
No, it's
Low
it's
carb?
everything. It's a shock to your system. Your life is
craving
just
something a
forever
little different, try
But I would
these.
say in the last couple months, it's become real to me,
Good.
and
I like the
I feel like
crispiness.
a genuine, overwhelming
Mhm.
love that I didn't
Really
feel
good.
it immediately. When they put her in my arms, it was not this instant
So,
connection.
Did you feel the same way?
No, I broke down in tears when I
Here's
saw
all
Cassie.
her
She
luck.
did.
Right.
She did much different.
One more time.
Yeah.
But I've heard
There
that
you go.
from other mothers.
Hope you
Women's
enjoyed all
really
this.
normal,
I
isn't
think
it?
a lot of people don't
Hope
want
you
to
all
admit
have
it
a
because
great
they're
day,
afraid it's going
and I
to
will
make
see you
them
tomorrow.
look bad.